And on stream now, we have Prestige Archibong from Team Akwa facing David Ojih from Team Ogun. This is the intermediate category of the Scrabble event at the 22nd National Sports Festival, Gateway Games Ogun 2024.
Yeah, this is going to be another cracker between these two players. They are at the top at the moment. Ogun State versus Akwa right here. Akwa is going first. He just draw Joe and TOGA, Joe Toga. This really look like a straightforward move of Joe. Yes. You know, if he has an hand, he can do Jawan or Ajuan. All right, you see that drop it down. Mm. 26 points.
All right, David Ojih is not playing as he has drawn the first blank of the game alongside BEHUUT. Joe, do you think these players will be playing Couples Basketball for most of their games? I mean, considering that they are intermediate players and not master players.
They can as well be up to the task, you know, not many of them, but at least a good number of returns. You may be able to see Kwaku top move, because for them to be intermediates means that they are not opens and they're close to being in the masters category. Okay, duplicate use here makes this fractal cumbersome and he has to shed them. No bingo in this turn.
All right, so looks like he's contemplating. Okay, I think he just did Baku for 9 points. All right.
Yeah, beautiful right balance, UTE blank, waiting for a bingo in the next turn. I know David picks pretty cool and combining tiles. All right, back to Prestige, Fagot, AM to move.
All right, Kwaku's best move is Fagot keeping AM. Fagos for 28 points, and I think that's what he's doing. Wonderful sights by
That's cool to see. He connected one of the hooks of Bahus. He put it there, takes perfect score. Good rack leave. 54-9. Sometimes I wish when I'm doing like this, the game should just end. You know, let me just begin signing this thing at this time. But you must play to the end.
Of course. So the game is still very early. I mean, Ojih has
this is very early. You know. Gunnet, Gunnet blank does not look like a word. Not would have played that to Jaws. Whereas some cool floaters on bird, on Gwenta should be coming down if you can find that.
Also on Tango, 30A of Fagot, and Teenage is 30A. I think, okay, he can also play on Gwenta to the U, so he has just two floats on the board, which is the A from Fagot and the U from Bakut. Do you think he's going to be spotting any of the moves?
Yeah, I expect David to spot Teenage, if at least. He should also see on Gwenta. I'm doing something close to that word, but Teenage should come down from him. He's scrambling his cells now. I don't want him to be feeling. You shouldn't be feeling too pressed, you know, so that you shouldn't be missing this bingo as this turn. Very important for him to play bingo now. So I expect Teenage or Ongwenta to drop on this board now. Prestige having some plunky tiles, but they are very good tiles for scoring VAW and mint. So Val can come to that FA and score about 10-something points. So if David plays the bingo, if not towards that A, at least he can score with a set of rack. All right. This promises to be interesting. For the fact that I saw Bahut and Fagot from Prestige, which was the Baku's top best move, that's impressive.
Okay, I think he has spotted Teenage, or is he still racking? You know, there are lots of times where you rack and you arrange the right word on your rack, but you think the player is saying the word, but they are not saying the word, they are just racking. You know, very funny.
Especially when you're now on stream. This stream is kind of putting the players on too much pressure, you know, when they're on stream. But some players have played quite a number of games on stream that have been able to keep up to the pressure of the stream. If I'm on stream, I may take much time to play this role because to find this bingo, because I would just be like, I have to play bingo now, I have to play bingo now, and I may not even see anyone at the end of the day. Garnet looks good, but bad. Gannett is the word. I expect him to do 2 even if it's not saying winter. 2 for 58,
There's also Untangle for 58,
Just 8 point difference.
Yes, although Untangle is exposing the triple line.
Yeah.
Same thing with Ungwents.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. Okay, so I think he has stopped. He just played
Nathan is torn. You see what I was saying previously, that the streaming, playing on stream, it has a kind of way it affects the player. You won't know, but you will see it when we are watching them.
Yes.
But them themselves feel they're playing maybe the best move at that point in time. So it's missing 2 on Amguenta. Okay, still not too far away. The blank is with him. We need to move now.
Yes, I think I can even cut David some slack because he's an intermediate player. I mean, if it's a master player, I would expect them to see at least one of those moves.
Yeah, you're right. I expect we still to play towards the Geno, maybe Vint or Vim, to take out that side. Yeah, Vint is looking cool. MAW is a good round play. 29 point, I think. Vint. No right to blank for David Ojih. This very beautiful rag has conferred about 60 bingos. No right to blank. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I think he plays this and he gets back into the game. A couple of balance for Prestige in after that David's turn. I expect him to also come with a bingo. He's having we and MAIS. If he sees a T, he can play team wise, but I don't think anything will be coming or exposing on this board.
All right, I think we're going to see Oestrin for 73 points by David Ojih.
Yeah, that gives him a slight lead in the game. Beautiful one. So you see Scrabble, sometimes, like I was saying in the previous games we streamed, there sometimes you make a mistake or a blunder and the bag will still give you what you need. After missing that word, normally I would expect that, maybe we pick some clunky tiles like VWFK, and we'll be struggling, and the blank will be deceiving him on his track, or you have to use blank for you only forward on the track. But sometimes you play some suboptimal move and you still draw well. But sometimes when you play suboptimal move, you may get punished for it.
Yes. Scrabble is really a game that promises nothing. You can see in some games where players are making their top moves, and when they go into the bag, they do not pick what they expect. They pick very, very floppy tiles that are not really flexible. And there are some players that they should score, and at the end of the day, they end up picking great tiles and end up winning the game at the end of the game. So Scrabble is really a game that doesn't promise any player anything.
Yeah, very correct. Like this Prestige rack now, AIES. You can be lucky to have a very simple bingo to join that. And who knows, if you pick some clunky tiles, you may have to balance again. Maybe need to move with Pupa ARR. This rack is not looking beautiful. Pupa ARR.
Oh, wow, Prestige drew 2 vowels and an S. It's really not looking good for Prestige. Okay, David just made a play of Pupa for 20 points. Taking it to 127.
Like I said, when we proceed to make the meal, it kept AIES. That rack leaf was too over flexible. Yes. It was like that. Some masters player will want to play or find a way to play OWE in that previous turn, OWIE, to keep MIMES. to make the rack a bit balanced.
Yes, yes. Keeping 3 vowels and a consonant is not really advisable, especially now that the game is still early. You do not want to make your opponent take a very strong lead.
You're right, right.
All right. So Kwaku is saying Prestige can play Sophie through the P of FIFA for 20 points, leaving ES. You can also do Soja, keeping EEIS for 24 points. I think I'll prefer Sophie because it's leaving just one consonant and vowel and it's pretty balanced and it's giving him the chance to go into the back to fetch more tiles. Playing Soja EEIS, 3 vowels and consonants. It's not really a good move if you ask me.
Yeah, you preferred Soapy. Soapy is giving out a lot, you might not even know the Soapy because it takes S. But the amount of Soapy, it's Soapy of Y and goes to INR. So I'm looking at Soldier for skipping EIS is also the same condition where it was before. So he has to look for a way to, I don't know, just play something, and hope for the best.
Okay, so I think he's doing SAE. SAE. That is keeping EIOS. Wow.
Yeah.
All right, David Ojih as ADEKNRR. It's actually not a bad rack if you look at it, and he has a bingo NAD KNARRED for 86 points. Wow, it would be really fantastic if you can spot that.
Definitely. I saw him arranging with drunk and looks like he may not be saying this word. He knows there's nothing like a drunk, but Kna is a beautiful word to spot. I think it comes from the 4-letter Kna, then goes to RRED. Yeah. It would be cool to see this on stream, but he has played already and committed this move for
30 points. It's not really bad. Keeping ANR, it's a very flexible rack. Prestige has drawn QSIEODH from his previous level of IEOS.
So on this game, David has missed 2 words, which would have given him a good leverage in the game. Yes. But even at that, he's still leading with about 30 points. And I think he's still doing well.
Yes, I really think he's still doing well. Still have the Z and some other tiles outside, and the blank has not been seen. Okay, yes, you just drew the X. This game can still go either way, if you ask me.
Yeah, is there any way for Prestige to drop the Q? You want to drop the Q to balance the S for bingo, but there's no move that will drop the Q without using the S. So we are seeing Kwaku top choice of should for the one keeping QI. Very good option, if you ask me, very good option. But the problem with the option is Z is not seen yet, so we're scared of, should I do that and keep open ZE? If it does SIDH, SIDHE, he will keep QO. QO is not really a good rack for him. It will be a top division for Prestige now. He will wish he can just drop his QI somewhere.
Yes, and Joe, can I ask you a question? So I don't know if you've ever been in this scenario where you pick the Q and then you just dispose the Q, and then the next time you go into the bag, you pick the U, or you probably exchange the Q, and then when you go into the bag, you bring the U out.
Yeah,
it's really very, very painful. It's probably a very
you're right. It happens. Like you see, the back won't teach you nothing. So that happens. You may drop the Q and pick the U. You may just use the U and pick the Q. The Q is a very funny tile, but in the right board condition, the Q can deliver for you. Just like we saw point from a player online, keeping RIS. He was leading and also got coin for about 65. It's beautiful to see Prestige doing the best move in this turn of his rack. Shoot keeping QI. He's not bothering about his Z there. Wow, that's an impressive move. Wow, I've seen him do Bahut and Fagot. Now he's doing Shoot, just taking his maximum score. I think I'm impressed.
Yes. Ojih has AEGNORX. He has quite a number of choices of moves to make. It's really not a lot, but I think he's going for grown.
Yeah, he's also scared of the Z coming down. Looks like he's set up from the stage,
of course.
So he went for grown, keeping his ears for something cool later on. Prestige just drew IIIAE.
3I.
Drop.
Wow.
This is not what we would like to see. So he should be able to change in this turn or constrain the AN right there. Wow, beautiful, beautiful. It's changing all and keeping only E. But looking at this changing, the grown is opening a space for Z. You can fetch about 70 points there.
Yes.
It's a good option to change since you don't have it and your rack is that terrible. Because your opponent also played the grown to open that space. You also played the shoe to open the space. Anyone that picks the Z has a very good chance in this game. Wow. David just drew the second blank.
Wow. I think this game is tilting in David Ojih's favor, if you ask me.
Yeah, Kinder. Keeping EX to pick blank is something so cool to see.
Yes.
I think you should be able to play bingo, or if there's a float on this rack.
Exciter for 98 points.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
That's where he still had the card,
Wow.
that he didn't see,
Exciter.
I expect him to see this. David is a top player. He's the current youth champion. Has won a couple of tournaments too in Nigeria. He's doing very well for his category. You should see Exciter. It's dropping in two spaces on this board. Like I said, the odd seat is always very, very hot. You just be bland to some things. Not that you don't know it, you not be bland, like, oh, I missed that. If you tell him, oh, did you miss that? Like, oh, I know it. Oh, like, nah, we're supposed to see that, Anyway, he's planning to do tests. If he loses this game, he will feel so bad using those words.
But then can he lose the game? I mean, Prestige rack is not looking like it's going to shift anytime soon, and he has the second blank. So
yeah, that's a very good point. He might not, because he has a blank and is leading with 20 points thereabout now. But this, normally he's supposed to be punished for these misses, because Scrabble doesn't really punish you. We have seen teenagers miss on winter, Knan, and now etc. Looks like it's not going to drop. Painful, but still cool since you have your blank and you can still come with something.
Yes.
He's thinking of Fent, Ante, and Tex. Yeah, so I'm planning to do that. And not too bad.
Yes.
Increases your lead and keep your blank. There's this confidence the blank gives to you when it's on your rack, especially when you're playing with somebody you are thinking you're a bit better than, you're like, oh, I can afford to lose this turn, and still.
All right, I think it's going to be a miss as he's arranging text for 37, keeping EIR blank. Not a bad leave if you ask me. It's still very flexible. I mean, the right combination of one vowel and some consonants will actually make this very good.
Yeah. Are they reconciling?
I think the time is paused. Yes. I think they are reconciling scores.
Or does that look like a challenge or feint or ante, Okay. Then someone with racks. Racks are cool. Okay, I'm looking at Prestige rack. I expect him to find a 5-letter word across that grown to be able to score a couple of 4 points. But I'm not really seeing anything yet for him there. But this rack should fetch him about 30 points if he's able to find something.
There's an option of be full for 37 points, keeping C, giving him the chance to go into the back for more racks and for more draws. But I think he's playing FOB instead for 28 points. FOB for 28.
Yeah, pretty cool move, keeping cool, and I'm not exposing the full to S. Just give your opponent the chance to just play the fools.
Well, David drew the Z.
Well, I'm just loving David's draw, but the misses are just funny that you're missing and you're picking this way. Wow. He's going to score about 70 points in this turn, and I think the board is now tilting towards his position to win this game. Zori right there in school. Oh, sorry,
Prestige
hasn't committed a turn. All right. I think it's saying the possibility of that Z coming right there.
Yes. I mean, at this point, the lead is not a strong lead. It's just about 24. The margin is just about 24. So Prestige doesn't want to be very reckless in giving unnecessary spots for David to score and extend the lead even further. But what he does not know is David David's rack is actually very, very promising. It looks very good.
Yeah, David has he has the juices prestige we needed, because after changing, we expect him that he's supposed to pick these juices that David is having now. But Scrabble is just like that. David has Croziers. I think the flop has been committed now.
Yes.
Croziers is not going to drop, but with 70 points, he will be taking a lead of a bingo in the lead. Oh, I can see him picking the. Okay.
Well, what's going on? Is he using the blank?
Uzia.
Uzia for 74. I mean, it's not a bad choice. It's really not a bad choice. But Joe, would you actually make this move or you play Zuri for 46?
All right. I was not even saying Zoril. I was saying Zoril for 69, right? Using my blank there.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think the choice of Uzia is cool too.
Yes.
But you're exposing a half for your opponent. If you place a bingo dead now, you're back to square one in the game. And it's pretty much cool. Just take your score. 74 points. That's massive.
And Prestige doesn't seem to have the tiles coming in his favor as he doesn't have a bingo on this turn. But he can score 28, playing ROUM, and he can score 30 for Ulster. I think I'll prefer him playing Ulster, keeping MO.
Yeah, well, Ulster looks cool. The board is totally blocked in this situation. So you just have to take your score and try to maybe end the game. But it's still possible for him to try and look for a way to open the board at least. Don't quickly consider a loss. Maybe MOP there opens the board, Mob opens the board. They can play something to Hante, maybe Kante or Kanta, or Manta, something. Just try to bring the board open.
Yes.
Because if he keeps playing inside, they will be happy about the condition of the board and
Yes,
save the
the
game.
lead is almost 100 now. It's about 98. It's about 98 now, and he really needs to get back in the game if he wants to have a chance at winning this game.
Yeah, you're right. Looking at it, David is having the go ahead in this game. He's commanding the game.
Yes.
The board is in his favor. His draws are cool, leading with almost 100 points. His draws are so fantastic. So fantastic.
Prestige is still racking, trying to figure out what's it's good for him to do. I think he has Ulster. He's planning on doing Ulster, keeping MO. The board is pretty conditioned at this point. You do not really have a lot of things you can do. I mean, what are the chances of playing a word that ends with the letter P? Exactly. What are the chances?
Don't sleep is possible. There are some pretty cool words that end with letter P, but you have to have the right set of styles to be able to play that. All right, yeah, John Ulster, but hasn't committed. I think he also looks like he's conceding defeat in this game because I know David is not going to open this game for him. Played in, so. In fact, I'm happy. I'm sure he's happy that the opponent play horse and not even go to the house.
Use this workload,
yeah.
Lucky the board. All right, David just played BMTI. Just played TI from his rack of RETAILI.
Yeah, David have been pretty much cool, and if he sees an N, he do inertia, so he just has to keep looking the board and taking his score.
I think Prestige exchanged the Q before, and then the Q has found its way back to Prestige. What an irony.
Yeah, what would be the Q is back. Prestige is not having any chance in this game. But I was, like I said before, MOP can bring this board back to life,
Yes.
But it gives it all away. But you're trailing, you can do that, and don't mind the repercussion for doing that.
Oh, I think Ojih did not play TI. I think he changed it to RIAL.
Yeah, he did Real.
Yes.
Am I saying prestige arranging a non-word? MOOH. Yeah,
Effect of pressure.
yeah, prayer, Prestige has been playing pretty much well, but now he's not playing a non-word. Uh, I can see him crying in the bag. The opponent is not challenging, or am I missing it up? Oh no. It's shaking and it's about to peak. David is doing MOH. Wow. These are the things we see on stream, and it's not coming out. But the MOH is beautiful. That's opened the board now and maybe bring Prestige back into the game.
Oh, probably. Probably. No, not a lot of tiles left in the bag.
Yeah. Okay. David is still inside the light. Kept our ears.
Other than the few misses from David,
Yeah.
I think David has been playing quite all right.
Definitely. As far as it's leading to, you're playing quite all right.
Yes, and I think the tiles have been in his favor.
Yeah. Prestige has actually been playing very well. The
Yes,
guys are not
they
just
have.
for him. I didn't think we can fix Prestige.
Not at all. Not
Yeah,
at
so, that's what Scrabble does. It can do playing well, you're not picking well, you're playing badly, you're picking well. Tiles almost out. David, we want to condition this space now.
Wow.
There's some words ending with M, realism, ISM words.
6 vowels. 6 vowels. 6 vowels for Ojih, EISAIIE.
And what are the changes at this store? Why is he keeping this set of tiles?
I'm not so sure what's
Scored 12 points.
thinking.
All right. Okay. Maybe what he is tracking and saying that the bag is a bit funky for his opponent to play bingo to the ham.
Yes.
He even looks like the one that has the good tiles to play bingo to the ham. What's ending with ISM there.
Wow, Prestige doesn't have any vowels. I think this is a gone game.
Yeah, feel for
I
him.
think it's a gone game. That's a gone game.
And I can see David tracking, so I know he's following up with the tiles on scene. So this looks like David has wrapped this already. I don't think Prestige can change.
No, it cannot. Cannot. I think there are just 2 tiles left
in the bag. Yeah. So and David has all or most of the vowels right there. Oh, so sorry. It's a gun game.
It wasn't a game for Prestige because it was actually playing, Paco's best move. Bad choices. Although I think where the issue started was after he played MEW, keeping 3 vowels.
Yeah, I pointed that out to you that we keeping MIS looks cool, or MES, sorry, we keeping MES looks cool. I think he has a rack of team wise without the T. I'm correct. Yeah, I think he has a rack of team wise. I think it's just team wise, or there was an O there. I can't remember. Anyway, let's finish the game. He just play Claude. He can't change.
Yes.
Just play Claude. Picking the last 2 tiles.
Hoping it might have.
Please, in this vowel. Look at this rack. DDNNYY high. Wow, this is not good. But it's still keeping the game in pace. 305, 348. I'm impressed by his play.
Yes.
But David should be able to make this with the set of tiles we have.
David has advice for 31 points. Keeping AI also VC for 31 points as well. Keeping AA. David will be able to finish.
I expect him to play that if he's tracking very well. Yeah, that's coming down. Beautiful.
Very wonderful.
Beautiful.
By David Ojih.
I must tell you, I'm enjoying the watching the game and streaming with the players. I like what I'm seeing. I like what they're making. Not too much errors, not too cumbersome or too punishable errors, but the back promises nothing, and you can miss words and come back with good set of tiles.
Prestige doesn't really have a lot of
options in this turn.
Just 30 points if he plays DIDY, 10 points Dandy, At this point, I think I'll be going with
You
the
know,
option.
you know how it feels to win on stream. You feel so cool
Yes,
to win a
I
game on
agree.
stream, even if you don't know. I'm sure he doesn't know you played badly,
Yes.
listen from words, but you feel so cool to play on stream. Because it doesn't have much to do. Dandy or Didi and
I can
wow.
only imagine David's surprise when he finds out that he joins the Exciter.
Yeah,
Yes,
Exciter
Exciter from
Clan.
IPA.
You know, the clan is also a very good form.
Yes.
The teenagers, you know, he would have seen that if it's raw on his rack. I expect him to
Yes.
see that he's raw on his
Yes. You
rack.
know, the blank sometimes confuses the players. Wow, Prestige is doing int, why empty?
That doesn't look like a good word.
Yeah.
Is it going to
Don't
miss
think it's
this turn and give more
okay.
cumulative
Yeah, not
spread?
considered yet. But it's going to be really painful to see because if he doesn't play a right move at this point, it's just going to be helping David because David is going to get extra about 30 points from his rack, extra 30 points.
Yeah, so we'll be saying the win with about maybe 130 cumulative spread at the end of the day.
Yes. Okay, just change it. Wow, he's still playing yins and he has considered challenging immediately. That is a misdone for the Prestige. That's a misdone for Prestige. David's finished with VIA. Yes.